Hello, my name's Setala. I'm the Sonic Shaman, and this video is for one of my web store clients who just wanted a little bit of guidance around the organ set. Now, first, the organ set was based on the work of Barbara Hero. Using different measures, they were able to determine what a healthy frequency the organ is, basically by taking sound waves, putting them through the organ. And when you find a place where you have the least loss of the signal, that's basically telling you that organ is in resonance with whatever signal that you were running through it. So this is how they determine the healthy frequency of a liver, or an organ rather. And if you have an organ that is diseased, if you're using the frequency of a healthy organ, then it helps to bring it into sympathetic resonance, and it heals the organ. So you don't want to just use like one fork in a session. You want to do all the supporting things. So if you're going to be doing, kidneys, then maybe do kidney and bladder. And if you're doing just everything that gets rid of things, you might add intestines into that. Now, if you have other tuning fork sets, there are other things that energetically go along with things. For example, the intestines in the solar plexus area, you could use the solar plexus tuning fork, which is really just a sun fork. The chakra set's all planetary based. But you could consider doing that, or if you have a meridian fork, there might be meridians that would go good with different things. But basically, whenever you have your fork, this is a stomach fork, for example, the way that you can activate is you can just do a light knee tap like so, and then put it around the stomach area to help bring it into sympathetic resonance. But the real magic is in the overtones. You could also do the finger pull technique. This is going to bring it a little bit more audible, like so. But what you really like to do is say someone's really trying to lose weight. Maybe you're going to do the stomach fork, you're going to do fat cells, you're going to do the muscle fork, which I'm missing because I keep loaning my forks out and then I forget who has them. Blood supports everything. So you may have like your boss fork, the fork that you really are working on, if it's like a stomach issue, if it's really a joint thing with a whole bunch of different organs, you don't necessarily have the boss fork, but you can use one fork in one hand, and then what other forks? This is liver, fat cells, and blood, just as an example. You just lightly tap right on the 90-degree angles. And once you have that, you just work in the auric field. You want to go specifically where the organs are. Of course, fat cells and blood cells are all over the body. And just moving through the fields like so. Now, the thing is, the body and the organs in shamanism, we believe everything has a consciousness. So there's a consciousness to a liver, there's a consciousness to a bladder, there's a consciousness to the blood, there's a consciousness to the body itself. One of the things that really helps support all the body functions is the thymus. On my YouTube channel, there is a exercise that you can take a look at. It's called the seating of the soul. They say the thymus is the seating of the soul. The thymus is the thing that allows the body and the being to be in congruency. And in that congruency comes basically this communion that occurs, that the body is just more in line with what the being is doing. Sometimes we're fighting against the body because we're acting as two different, well, we are two different things, but we're assuming that it's our thing, but it really has its own consciousness. For example, when I really started getting in touch with my body, I became a vegan overnight, not saying anybody else would have to, but that is when I started communicating with my body led me to, hey, this is what I need right now, because I was eating so unhealthy. I think I really needed a multi-year detox. But again, mainly, you're going to pick the forks that you want to work with. You're going to activate them. If it's something specific like a liver, you want to make sure that you're putting the tone right into where the liver is, or where the kidneys are, or where the brain is, whatever the organs are that you're looking for. But there's also something to be said of just moving it throughout the entire body. Now, the other thing is the direction of the forks has different impacts. So if you put forks in opposition, just think like astrology. There's a difference in the energy of an opposition from a square to a conjunction. So like it just intuitively, as you start doing things, like what's going to create more? You may feel that, hey, I want muscle and fat to be in opposition, and I'm going to bring them into a conjunction. Or I'm going to start with a square because it feels like there's a lot of tension with that. And then as I energetically move it, I'm going to move it into a different position energetically in the field. Everything is driven by intention. Everything. So don't get too caught up on thinking you can do it wrong. You're telling the fork your job is to bring health, balance to the blood. Your job is to bring balance to the brain. Your job is to bring balance to the bone. And another, I'll give you one thing from shamanism too. There's these little beings called mukis. They rule the physical body, and they rule, they help heal the past and different things like that. And their symbol is a green spiral. And to activate them, like right in this abdomen area, you would just tap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 circles for the lower world, middle world, upper world, and then a green spiral, 3-dimensional going out. And the words that you would use in Quechua, hahaya muki kuna ompui ompui ompui, hahaya muki kuna ompui ompui ompui, meaning attention mukis, bring your healing here. And basically you tell them then, hey, go work on the brain, go work on this is what's going on with the person, go help with this. And then acknowledge it, maybe the organs are just a symptom at this point. Where did the energetic part of it really start? Because now once it's in the organs, it started out here in the auric field and it has condensed its way in and has become so dense that now we're having disease around an organ. So it's great to support the organs, but then the other question is, well, what energetically is the cause? So if you have someone with diabetes, for example, and you want to use the pancreas fork, you could also ask energetically, what occurred that took the sweetness out of life? Is there a soul loss? Is there work that needs to be done energetically so that the energetic thing that is causing the organ symptom to manifest can be addressed? So it's a whole, it's not just the organ set per se, it's the energetic component of what energetically was going on that now has resulted in this thing being taken on into physicality. Let's see, what else? Is there anything else to share with that? The other thing you could do, like depending what's going on with the person, a huge contribution would be if you have any osteophonic fork, preferably osteophonic just means to vibrate bone. A 136.1, which is ohm, or a 128, which is the auto fork from the solar harmonic set. But anything about that size, what you're really looking for is any weighted fork that you can activate and then place on acupressure points. So for example, if someone had bad sciatica or they have headaches or anything going on, there's a book called Potent Pressure Points, or Potent Acupressure Potent Points, not pressure points. But in this book, it has the pressure points for all kinds of things, ankle problems, allergies. They have, that's just in the table of contents, there's like so many good things. Pregnancy and infertility, nosebleeds, neck tension, pain, insomnia, hot flashes, hiccups, colds and flu, constipation, cramps and spasms. So like the constipation, cramps and spasms, if you were working on something for a client with for what the intestines and things like that, we could look up that constipation, page 67, just to give you one idea. It gives you the pressure points, or you can see like the little black dots there. Those are the places that you would activate the osteophonic fork, place them on those points, and then you're having a whole nother benefit. Not only are you having the organ set and the sympathetic resonance through the organs, you're also using the acupuncture points with a osteophonic fork. Instead of using needles or just applying pressure, you just activate it and just apply it on the point like that. And just one testament to how amazingly effective it is. With the birth of our second child, my wife had terrible sciatica, and in about a 10 to 15 minute session using nothing but an osteophonic fork, I hit all the points in sciatica in the book, and the pain went away, has never been back. So it is a very potent combination, organ forks along with one weighted fork. It is an amazing benefit. If you don't have a fork, remember, intention drives it all. Tell the fork, hey, your job is to do this. They all have their niches, but in the pinch, if you only had a gallbladder fork, you could say, gallbladder fork, your job is to balance this root chakra, and your intention will drive it. This is just the tool that's holding the energy, the physical representation of your intention. But in the world of physicality, there's also a healthy frequency of a gallbladder. So intention drives it all, but then the niches of the forks add potency to whatever the session is that you are that you're doing for somebody. And now I forget what I said at the beginning, so I will just go over real quick. Activating the forks, you can do the knee tap technique. You can do finger pull. You could use an activator or a mallet. If you want to tap them together, because I love overtones and I think that's where the magic is, get them going first with the light knee tap or doing the finger pulls like so. Once you get it like that, when you do hit the 90-degree angles, you just get a much cleaner tone. And you'll find that when you start using these, like play with it when you first get the set and hear how they're all supposed to sound. And now when your client is there, if you're not that intuitive when you start, just go through them all, see how they sound. And you'll notice that, like say there's a smoker. You activate the lungs, and with this person, it just feels flat. Like you know that it's off. Then you know that's one of the forks they need because there's a dissonance. There's not a resonance with it. If you activate the fork, it sounds off, it dies right away. You want to incorporate that one into the session for sure. And then as you continue to go through the session, you'll notice the forks last longer and longer as the organs move into sympathetic resonance. So that's a great way, now that I'm talking out loud about it, if you are brand new to the forks and you don't know, like there's not really a textbook that comes with the organ set, that's a great way to intuitively start to tell, well, what frequencies are going to be the greatest contribution for your client. Chakra sets would work the same way. Which forks go flat? That's the chakra that needs a lot more work than the others. So I think that's it. I hope this helps and it didn't create more questions than I gave answers for. Just trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's it. Just from a shamanic standpoint, the last thing I would say, and one of my tactics, when I set my prayers of intention, I call the higher self of my teachers. So I might call Dr. John Boyu or David Holtz or Gypsy J or any of the other people that I've trained under for sound healing and allowed their energy to come. And that is a great way to start intuitively tapping in to their experience. That could be a wonderful contribution for your session. So anyway, that's an 11-minute video. So let me know if this helps. And if you need another video like this, I can do one with a little bit more prep work instead of doing it so much off the cuff. All right. Thank you so much.